Before we start to look at transformations, that is, the relationship between sentence patterns, let's take a look at the basic structure of English. English is basically an SVO language, subject, verb, object. That means the normal sentence structure is that the subject, someone or something that does something, comes first, then comes the verb, that's the action part of the sentence, and after that comes the object, the thing that's acted on. And here's an example. The boy reads the book. That's about the simplest and most basic structure for an English sentence, and that's the kind of structure we're going to look at today. Even then, though, we're going to need to lay down a few conditions. I'm going to use verbs that are transitive, that is, verbs that take an object. So, not verbs like sleep, where you just sleep, you don't sleep something. But verbs like eat, you eat something. And I'm going to use them in their base or plain form, that is, without to at the beginning, and without any extra bits at the end, like eat-ing. We'll just put the plain form eat into the box and make any changes we need to the structure later on. So, in go the verbs. And now, the nouns. These will be the subject or the object of the sentence. I'll use common nouns, that is, not names like John or London, and not pronouns like he or she or it. And I'll use concrete nouns, things we can see and touch, animals, humans, and inanimate objects like cat or house or teacher. I'll choose things we can count, like we can have 2 cats or 2 houses or 2 teachers, but I'll use them in the singular form. We can count them, but in each case there's just one of them. Okay, so let's put the nouns in. Alright, I'm almost ready. I just need to add a couple of things to the structure. In English, nouns commonly need something called a determiner. If you're not sure what that is, don't worry, we'll come back to it later. I'm going to use a type of determiner called the definite article. That's the word the. I'm also going to add an inflection, a verb ending. I'm going to use the verb ending for the present tense, third person singular. Again, if you don't fully understand this, don't worry about it. I'll explain it more later on. And finally, we're going to add the same determiner, the, to the object. And that's it. That's all we need. We're now ready to start generating language using this structure.